You're in a meeting. Your boss just asked you a question. You have no idea what she said. Everyone's staring at you. So you do what most people do. You smile, nod, and say yes. And you pray that yes was the right answer.
Oh no, I've been there. And then 5 minutes later, you realize you just agreed to lead a project you know nothing about.
Exactly. Here's what you should have said, and it's so simple. Just 7 words. I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please? That's it. Professional, polite, and it saves you from disaster.
I learned this the hard way. I was at a doctor's appointment in Australia, and the doctor asked me something about my jabs. I had no idea what that meant, but I was too embarrassed to ask, so I just said yes. Turns out, jabs means vaccinations. She thought I had had a flu shot, but I hadn't. It caused so much confusion later.
And that's exactly what we're fixing today. We're teaching you the exact phrases to use when you don't understand someone. 20 professional, polite phrases organized by the type of problem you're having.
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Paul. Welcome to English Together.
Okay, let's talk about why this is such a big deal. When you don't understand something in English, what do most people do?
They pretend to understand. They nod, they smile, they say okay, and then they go home and worry about what they just agreed to.
Yes, or they just say, what? Which sounds kind of rude in English.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Asking for clarification is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of intelligence. Professional English speakers ask for clarification all the time. In fact, in our community of over 60,000 English learners, the one thing confident speakers have in common is that they ask questions instead of pretending to understand.
So today, we're giving you a simple system. We call it the 5-type rescue method.
Here's how it works. When you don't understand someone, there are 5 main reasons why. Type 1, didn't catch it, you didn't hear them clearly, background noise, an accent you're not used to, or they mumbled.
This happens to me all the time on phone calls. The connection is bad, or they're talking while doing something else.
Right. So for this type, you need phrases that ask them to repeat. Here are your go-to phrases. Phrase 1, I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please? Phrase 2, sorry, I didn't catch that. Phrase 3, could you say that again? Phrase 4, pardon or sorry, both with rising intonation like a question.
Okay, wait. What about just saying, what? Is that rude?
Great question. What by itself can sound a bit abrupt or even rude in professional situations. It's okay with friends or family, but in business settings or with people you don't know well, stick with the phrases I just gave you.
So, sorry or pardon are the polite short versions?
Exactly. And here's a cultural insight. In English-speaking countries, asking someone to repeat themselves is completely normal and expected. It's not considered annoying or disrespectful. In fact, people would rather repeat themselves than have you misunderstand.
That's so different from some cultures where asking someone to repeat might seem like you're challenging them or not paying attention.
Exactly. But in English, it shows you care about understanding correctly. Now, here's a bonus phrase for phone calls specifically. Phrase 5. Sorry, the line is breaking up. Could you say that again?
Oh, that's smart. You're explaining why you didn't hear, so they know it's the connection, not your English.
Exactly. And that brings me to an important point. You never have to apologize for your English level. You can simply state the problem. I didn't catch that, or the line is breaking up. Don't say things like, sorry, my English is bad.
Yes, never put yourself down like that.
All right, let's move to type 2. Don't get it. This is different from type 1. With this one, you heard the words clearly, but you don't understand what they mean.
Like my jab situation. I heard her say jabs, but I had no idea what it meant.
Perfect example. So for this type, you need phrases that ask for clarification or explanation. Here they are. Phrase 1. I'm sorry, I don't quite understand. Could you explain that? Phrase 2. What do you mean by blank? For example, what do you mean by jobs? Phrase 3. I'm not familiar with that term. Could you clarify? Phrase 4. Sorry, could you rephrase that?
Rephrase means to say it differently, right?
Exactly. Like saying it in simpler words or using different vocabulary. This is super useful because sometimes people use idioms or expressions you haven't learned yet.
Okay, I have a story about this. I was in a work meeting in London, and my manager said, let's touch base next week. I had no idea what touch base meant. It sounds weird, right? Like, are we playing baseball?
So what did you do?
I actually asked. I said, sorry, what do you mean by touch base? And she said, oh, it just means let's check in or meet up to discuss progress. She wasn't annoyed at all. She was happy to explain.
Perfect example. And this is what I want everyone to understand. When you ask, what do you mean by, you sound engaged and intelligent, not stupid.
Right. It shows you're paying attention.
Exactly. Here's another phrase that works great in professional settings. Just to make sure I understand correctly, you're saying blank.
Oh, I like that. So you're repeating back what you think they meant, and they can correct you if you're wrong.
Yes, this is a technique that even native speakers use in important conversations. It prevents misunderstandings. For example, just to make sure I understand correctly, you're saying the meeting is on Tuesday at 3 p.m.?
That's so professional.
All right, now type 3 too fast. This is when they're speaking so quickly that you can't keep up.
Ugh, this is my biggest problem. Native speakers talk so fast sometimes.
I know, and here's the thing. They often don't realize they're talking fast, so you need to tell them politely. Here are your phrases.
Phrase 1. Sorry, could you speak a bit more slowly, please? Phrase 2. I'm sorry, you're speaking a bit too fast for me. Could you slow down? Phrase 3. Could you say that again, but a little slower?
These are so useful. I always felt awkward asking people to slow down because I thought it meant my English was bad.
But it doesn't. Even native speakers ask people to slow down sometimes, especially on technical topics or when someone is excited and talking really fast.
That makes me feel better. And here's a personal story. When I was learning Portuguese in Brazil, I was at a party and this guy was telling me a story. He was talking so fast and I kept nodding like I understood, but I didn't catch a single word. At the end, he asked me, "So, what do you think I should do?" And I had no idea what he was talking about. I just said, that's tough." He looked at me weird and walked away.
Oh no.
Right. If I had just said, "Sorry, could you slow down a bit? I want to make sure I understand," he would have been happy to slow down. Instead, I looked like I wasn't interested in his story.
That's such a good point. Asking someone to slow down actually shows you care about what they're saying.
Exactly. Now, there's one more phrase for this type that's super casual and friendly.
Phrase 4. Whoa, slow down, you lost me. Oh, that's very informal, right?
Yes, use that one with friends or colleagues you're comfortable with. It's lighthearted and friendly, not for formal situations.
Okay, pause for 1 second. We've just given you 12 phrases so far, but here's the thing. You need to practice saying them out loud or they won't come naturally when you actually need them.
So right now, we're going to practice 3 phrases together. Say them out loud with us, even if you're alone in your room. Ready?
First phrase, sorry, I didn't catch that. Say it out loud. Go ahead.
That's 3 seconds.
Next, what do you mean by that? Say it.
This is 3 seconds.
Last one. Could you speak a bit more slowly, please? Say it right now.
This is 3 seconds.
Did you do it? If you said all 3 phrases out loud, you're already ahead of 90% of learners. That's how you build confidence. That's how these phrases become automatic when you're in a real conversation.
All right, let's keep going. So we've covered didn't catch it, don't get it, and too fast. Now let's talk about type 4, spell it out.
This is when you need someone to spell a specific word, usually a name, email address, street name, or technical term.
This happens so much on phone calls. Someone says their name or email, and I'm like, wait, how do you spell that?
Right, and there's no shame in asking for spelling. Even native speakers do this all the time, especially with names. Here are your phrases. Phrase 1, could you spell that for me, please? Phrase 2, how do you spell that? Phrase 3, sorry, could you spell your name? Phrase 4, can you spell that out, please?
These are so simple but so necessary.
Absolutely. And here's a bonus phrase for email addresses specifically. Phrase 5, could you give me that email address again, slowly? I want to make sure I get it right.
Ooh, that's good. You're showing that you care about accuracy.
Exactly, and in professional situations, accuracy matters. It's much better to ask someone to spell something than to send an email to the wrong address or show up at the wrong location.
I have a funny story about this. I was trying to meet a friend at a coffee shop in Dublin, and she told me the name over the phone. I thought she said Brew Street Cafe, so I went there. But the actual name was Brewton Cafe. Completely different place. I waited for 30 minutes before I realized.
Oh no, so you should have asked her to spell it.
Yes, if I just said, could you spell that for me? I would have been at the right cafe. Instead, I wasted half an hour and looked silly.
All right, last type. Type 5, show me. This is when you need more information, an example, more details, or a demonstration to understand what they're talking about.
So, like when someone gives you instructions, but you need them to be more specific?
Exactly. Or when someone uses a concept you're not familiar with and you need them to break it down. Here are your phrases. Phrase 1, could you give me an example? Phrase 2, could you be more specific? Phrase 3, what exactly do you mean? Phrase 4, could you show me what you mean? Phrase 5, I'm not sure I follow. Could you explain in more detail?
I'm not sure I follow is such a polite way to say, I don't understand.
Yes, it's very professional and common in business settings. And here's the thing, these phrases make you sound thoughtful and detail-oriented, not confused or stupid.
Right. Like if someone says, we need to optimize our workflow, and you ask, could you give me an example of what you mean by optimize? That sounds smart.
Exactly. You're asking for clarification on a vague term, which is actually very professional. And this is important. Never feel bad about asking for examples or details. Clear communication is everyone's responsibility, not just yours.
Yes, if someone is being vague, it's okay to ask them to be more specific.
Absolutely. In fact, in English-speaking work cultures, asking detailed questions is seen as a positive trait. It shows you're thorough and you care about doing things correctly. Now, before we recap, I want to tell you something important. We've taught these exact phrases to over 60,000 students. And you know what they tell us? They say that learning to ask for clarification was the moment they stopped feeling anxious in English conversations.
Because they finally had the words to rescue themselves when they got lost.
Exactly. It's like having a safety net. You know that even if you don't understand, you have professional, polite ways to ask for help.
And the number one thing we hear is this. I thought asking questions would make me look stupid, but it actually made me look more professional.
Yes, because confident professionals ask questions. Insecure people pretend to understand. So if you're still watching, know that you're building real confidence right now.